Hello boys and girls, today we're going to learn how to become authors and we're going to start writing our young author story. So, to begin with, we have to start with a plan. Every good story always starts with a plan, and I know that sometimes we want to skip that step, but we just can't, because if we skip that step, there's no way for us to be good writers. Even the very best writers always start with a plan. So, we have to start by making a plan that is just the right size. So, once you take out a circle map that looks like this, think of all the ideas you can come up with. What are some ideas you want to write about? And don't be too selective. Write every idea you can think of. And then, once you get those ideas down, then it's time for you to say to yourself, okay, it's time for me to pick a topic that's just the right size. Now, remember we've talked about this. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You have to pick the topic that is just the right size. It can't be too small and it can't be too large. It has to be just right in the middle. So what happens if you pick a topic and you realize, oops, my topic's a little too small? Here's the secret. Don't tell nobody. You add details to it to make it just the right size. What if you have a topic that is large, but you have to make it smaller so that it's more manageable to write about? You're going to have to take some of the ideas that you have on your paper and the ones that aren't the best ideas, you're going to have to use them as wallpaper in a room. So that means you put them on the wall and you don't really use them. So we'll get to that later. But right now, we need to do some brainstorming of ideas. Once we get the ideas down, the next thing you have to do is to meet the requirement of this paper. And the requirement of this paper is for you to write something and explain why. It's an explain why paper. So let's say one of your topics is gymnastics. Okay? Well, maybe you need to think about your gymnastic topic and think, explain why. How can I change my topic of gymnastics and to explain why? Oh, I got it. There's different types of gymnastic things you can do. You can do the floor mat, where they do the tricks and the twirls and things on the floor mats. Then they have the little straight bar, balance beam bar that they do things on. And then they have those bars where they go up in the air. So the explain why thing would be that you would tell about all three of those things, but you would explain which one was your favorite and why. Okay? Well, so you could do that with anything. Let's say you were a race car driver, or you liked race car drivers. Driving in race cars, whatever. Well, what are three things that happen at a racetrack? Well, let's see. You have the amateur ones, the slow cars. You have the sprint cars, and then you have the heavy-duty big cars that race, You could explain all three of those, and then when you're done, explain which one's your favorite and why. Do you get the idea? You still get to use your favorite topic, and you still get to use your favorite ideas. You just have to convert it into an explain why paper. I think that should be easy to do. Another thing you could do is you could talk about maybe which place, like a really large topic is usually an amusement park, because there are so many things to do there and there's so many places to go. But if you picked out three things that you did at the amusement park and only talked about those three things, and then to turn it to an explain why paper, you would explain why one of those things is your favorite and why it was your favorite, then it becomes an explain why paper. So right now, it's time for you to do some brainstorming. First thing you have to do is come up with all your ideas and get them on your circle map. Remember, don't start worrying about all the details and what's going to be in the paper and all that kind of stuff right now. Think about ideas, things you want to write about, things that make you interested in writing. And then when you're all done, then it'll be time for us to convert that over to using just the right size topic and how I can explain why. This is task number 1. When you're done, you get to watch my next video. Have a great day and have fun planning.